Hi, and welcome back to a new episode of Talking Walks. Today I'm taking a breather from my recent series of London music sites and back in my own area of Kent. I'm in Aylesford Priory. This was founded in 1242 by the Carmelite monks and was dissolved by Henry VIII and then restarted as a friary again after the Second World War. So, turning right out of the friary, we now walk towards the village of Aylesford, which you can see in front of us. Beautiful Norman church. St Peter and Paul's Church, Aylesford. So doubling back slightly from the front of the church, I'm now taking this public footpath slightly to the left of the graveyard. I'm going to follow this round to the right, round to the rear of the graveyard. Now, after skirting around the outside of the cemetery, we follow a tarmac road down in the general direction of Eccles. It brings us out to the road parallel with the entrance to the village and to this public footpath. Now we're on the other side of this quarry, which has brought us out the opposite side to where the church was. And we're on our way on this public footpath, which is straight ahead. So I've now turned right at the end of the path that ran between those fields. The field on the right, the large field, and the field on the left, which is where the quarry is. Just walking through this small area of woodland towards the village of Eccles. Okay, so at the end of that path we're now approaching the village of Eccles, and as you can see on the left there's a vineyard ready to grow, I don't know, this year, next year's, some years, grapes for some lovely Kentish wine. We follow this track all the way along now until it bears left, and then we'll be in the village of Eccles. So now at the end of that public footpath we're coming to the edge of the village of Eccles and into this tarmac road. We'll continue up here for a while. Now we take a right turn into this public footpath between these two houses, and the house number is 48, so the public footpath opposite number 48. Now this general area of Aylesford may have been the site of the Battle of the Medway during the Roman invasion of Britain, but there's been no direct evidence to prove this yet. The Battle of Aylesford, however, is less in doubt and was recorded in the Anglo-Saxon chronicles. It's said that the Germanic soldiers of Hengist, formed from the Jutes, Saxons and Angles, defeated the Britons, or the Celts, in the year 455. Hengist's brother, Horsa, was said to have been killed in that battle. This is also where Alfred the Great defeated the Vikings in 893, a triumph later repeated by Edward Ironside in 1016. Seem to have made a bit of a friend here with Mr. Horse, who's enjoying himself, taking it easy. And at this part of the field, according to my map at least, I cross over this stile and make my way across there. So, off we go. So now I've come out of the corner of that field and I'm at the junction of Pilgrim's Way here, where this signpost is. And I take the road to the left, which takes me towards Rochester, Burham and Woodham, and soon I'll turn right after I've passed these two cottages on my right hand side. Traffic everywhere. Still, I've had a little quiet spell, or quietish, just to show the turn into this bridleway, which will take us to where we need to go next. So now I'll be continuing on up this bridleway to the beautifully named Bluebell Hill. What a beautiful part of Kent this is. Approaching Bluebell Hill, you can see from here a little bit more. Oh, nice bit of wildlife there. A little bit more of the Kent Downs. What a stunning place it is. Right, so we are now in the bottom of Bluebell Hill in the woods, and we basically just follow this path up to the top. It's quite steep in places, but it's a lovely walk, especially on a day like today. This monument here is called Kit's Coty House, and the name meaning the house Coty of Kit or Categern, an Iron Age leader who was once thought to have been buried here. However, the site is much older than that. It's sometimes known as Kent Stonehenge and dates back 5,000 years and consists, as you can see, of 3 enormous upright stones with another huge stone resting on top. This would once have been buried under a mound of earth and was a communal burial site, probably for religious leaders. Now from Kit's Coty House, we'll follow the track down and we should end up at Kit's Little Coty House, a bit further on down the track. So this is a path down from Kit's Coty House down towards the bottom of the Bluebell Hill area, and what we'll do at the bottom of this is cross the road and take a right and find our way down to Little Kit's Coty House. Okay, so having crossed over at the bottom of the track that comes from Kit's Coty House, we now follow this North Downs Way, crossing the road and heading down onto this track. So just off of that road that we exited from the footpath after Kit's Coty House, we're now at the site of Little Kit's Coty House, just off the main road. Very easily missed if you come off the main road, because it's just through a tiny little gap in a hedge. So here we are. Right, so walking down from Pilgrim's Way, there's a right hand turn in the track, the first one after crossing that road, that brings you down then back towards where we started at Aylesford. So we're following this tarmac road down until we get to Little Cossington Farm, and then we're going to do a right through a gate diagonally across a field, and that will bring us back towards the start of Aylesford again. So we're on the home stretch of the walk now. A beautiful day. In fact, it's the spring equinox today, when the hours of daylight are exactly the same as the hours of darkness. Here's the small gate that we go through to cut diagonally across this field and make our way back to Aylesford. Going to the bottom of that, and you'll see this road, which is the main road into Aylesford, and this brings you back towards the end of the walk. And here we are at this beautiful medieval bridge. Back to the Norman church near where we started, just on the way back to Aylesford Friary.